Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and the time has finally come, and so have I. Start off strong. I am here for Jujutsu Kaisen Episode 1. We are going to be starting off the JJK journey. Yay! Omedetou! And we're going to get into it. This is the start of a new show, so there are some things that I want to cover and lay out and lay some groundwork and introduce the probably lots of new people who've never seen me before. What's up? I'm a weirdo. I'm a weeaboo. I drink tea, and actually have some right here. I drink tea, primarily green. I also like yerba mate. My favorite tea is Gyokuro, because it's dark green and it's got lots of L-theanine and it makes me feel nice. I had the opportunity to do some research on this show, which I sometimes do, and I have avoided doing so. I've kept myself in the state of being absolutely as blind as a bat, and I want to give myself a little pat on the back for this, because this show is relatively high profile as far as I can tell, and has been out for a little while, and people talk about it a good bit, and I've managed to avoid pretty much all of that. So I'm going to lay out what I actually do know. I know the name of the show. It's Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know what that means. I've avoided looking at any translations of it. Nice. I've seen this image and only this image as far as promo art and stuff goes, because I went and grabbed it like a while ago to put it in a thumbnail for a poll or something like that. Anyway, I saw this image, and so this is that's my entire exposure to the show. I was at a house party the other week, and this dude who was there, who watches a lot of anime, and we'll just leave it at that, was trying to recommend anime to people, and was like, oh yeah, you like this, you gotta watch JJK, bro, you gotta watch JJK. He was talking to somebody else, you gotta watch JJK, and the way that he explained it, which is not far off from the way that I've heard it described and explained previously, but I'm just gonna lay it out for you. The way that he explained it was like, oh man, yeah, if you like fucking Demon Slayer, bro, you like Demon Slayers, you like Tanjiro. He did say Tanjiro. You like Tanjiro? Man, you gotta get into the Jujutsu Kaisen. That shit's killer. It's fucking more like, I don't know, it's like more dark and adult. A lot of people really like Demon Slayer, I think, but I don't know, for me, I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen is like closer to me. I don't know what the fuck any of that means, but it was said in front of me. In that conversation, a third party, who was incidentally not the person who he was talking to or the person who was speaking, was like, oh yeah, the only thing I know about that show is that he has to eat a lot of thumbs. At that point, I put my fingers in my ears and started going la 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 and walking away, because I wanted to keep my pristine, virginal Jujutsu Kaisen cherry unpopped brain intact, so I left. And so I know that something, he's got to eat a lot of thumbs, and I don't know what the fuck that means. But then I went and I looked at the image that I've looked at before, because I can look at this. It's fair game, right? Kosher as can be. And there's bunches of fucking hands in the background and stuff. Mr. Dude Bro McBlindfold has a zombie hand. Whatever this shit is. Makes me think of Chainsaw Man. Makes me think of like devils, demons, another world. Something weird that we're connecting with and maybe grants us some kind of level of our power. I don't fucking know. But Dude Bro McMentor has a big ol' hand on his shoulder, and he's holding he's got big fucking yaoi hands, by the by. Big ol' hand out. That's one more thing. I have to mention this because it's one more thing that I'm aware of. I've seen a lot of like dating app profiles from young women in the same age bracket as me, talking about mentioning being interested in Jujutsu Kaisen in particular. And in particular, I have seen Blindfoldo McMentor photoshopped into a chick's profile picture as her husbando. Not joking. Just a thing that was there. So that is a thing. Apparently some of these characters are very popular with young women. I think there's actually a really large audience of young women who watch this show, which is interesting. I don't know why that has happened. I don't know if that's weird. Maybe it's not weird. But nominally shonen, right? And yet, so that's interesting. That's the last piece of stuff that I know about the show. It's been thrown around all the time. People badmouth it as simplistic shonen, and we're going to get into that for a second because I want to hit you with a bit of a mission statement before we get into things. It's been badmouthed as simplistic shonen a whole bunch and put in the same realm as Demon Slayer, to which I go, oh, okay, great, sounds good. That was a good time. And that's all I know about Jujutsu Kaisen. Then we got our picture. Okay, we got Boyo McBoy in the middle. He's got a red thing around his neck, which is like a collar or scarf. These are really stylized uniforms. I don't think they're school uniforms. They seem like they're more than that. Maybe a military, I don't know. But they are all wearing sort of similar collary jacket thing, big collar, I don't know. He's there. His hand is out. It's a little bit funky because his hand and the chick's hand intersect at the elbow, but his hand is out and is lit on fire with fire, flame, light, blue energy, which reminds me only of Yusuke Urameshi, of Spirit Gun stuff, and honestly, kind of tracks. That feels like where we're going with this. It feels like something in a similar kind of realm, which is kind of cool. Anyway, chick whose arm intersects with him is wearing... She's wearing stockings, skirt, blouse, same jacket, but it's open to show off the goods, because you gotta show off the goods a little bit. I don't know how fan servicey this is going to be. I don't really know. We'll see how it handles it. She looks a little scary, like a little bit like into the fighting and murder and death and killing and stuff, and has what might be Wolverine claws or pens or squid ink spaghetti. Shoutouts to JoJo's. I don't fucking know what she's got in her hands, but it seems like a weapon. And then in the behind him is he's blindfolded. What's up with that? How does he see? And then he seems very in tune with the fucked up zombie hand spirit world of eyes and hands and stuff that's looming behind them all, because he's got one just chilling on his shoulder being all friendly like, yeah, you got it, bro. You got it. And last but maybe least, probably least, is Sasuke. He's there, and he's Sasuke. And until proven otherwise, I'm gonna consider him a Sasuke-alike. Okay, let's go for that mission statement that I said I was gonna give you. I'm Teeaboo, I'm a weirdo, I drink tea and I watch anime, and then I talk about it way too much. I really like film, media, stories, and conveyance of non-obvious information through subconscious means? I don't know, that's what stories do. You take a bunch of information and then you like, by a bunch of information, I mean your entire experience of reality. Like all of it. Your whole perspective on the world. And your ability to put yourself in the shoes of other people and understand the way that they're seeing the world. Like your whole perspective on everything. You take that, couple it with some serious artistic ability and some storytelling quality, and then you mangle that together with a whole bunch of effort, and out pops like a short story or a manga or something, right? And we, dumb consumers, go and watch it, read it, consume it, put it in our faces, and it does something to us. It like transfers some portion, like a not insignificant portion of the other person's entire worldview with intent into your brain. Doesn't really matter how complicated, dark, deep, intricate the story is, it's still gonna follow some of that process. And that process is fucking complicated and weird and wild and absolutely enthralling to me. I love it. I love it. I think it's awesome. And so I talk about it. And I've been doing this for like 6 years now, or 5 years plus. I've been doing it for a little while. We've been through a whole bunch of shows, and we've been having a really good time with it. If you want to support the channel and allow this to continue happening, ad-free, no algorithmic bullshit, no sponsors, no, what else is there that makes content crappy? All of the things that make content crappy, they're not here. This is me doing a thing that I love and putting it on the internet. If you'd like to support it so that it can continue existing, in exchange for that, you will receive some access to the Discord and early access to every video that I put out by a week, which is pretty good for $1. So check out the Patreon, which is linked in the description, if you'd like to continue this thing. simple fucking stories, and bad-mouthing shows as, oh, it's just a simplistic shonen. It's like, you've seen this before. It's like, it's nothing super special, but it's kind of fun, and the fights are cool, and what... Fucking hate that shit. It gets my goat every goddamn time. Because, first, what I said before, everything about making a story, let alone a story that's actually compelling to a population, a like significant chunk of people that they can resonate with and actually relate to and get something out of. Just that process is so fucking complicated that it deserves a little bit of respect. But beyond that, the stories that we tell in our simple stories aren't fucking simple. Ever. Almost ever. Even the most childish tales. And one of my favorite shows, some of my favorite shows to go and look at, are shows aimed at little kids with those simple morality tales in them. And they're not simple, man. When you've got characters like relating to each other and figuring out that there's something wrong with the other person and wondering how they can fix it, and these really deep and powerfully human relationships designed by adults to infiltrate and subconsciously get inside the minds of children and teach them to share their toys and not steal stuff, and, you know, if that kid is sad, maybe go be his friend, and shit like that. That kind of shit is the cornerstone, the foundation of simplistic shonen. Basic Maho Shoujo, Pretty Cure, basic super robot shows, all that stuff. It's that baseline. It's that kid stuff. The only reason you think that shonen anime, a metaphorical, abstract representation of the journey of a young man, or almost exclusively, a journey of a young man through life's trials and tribulations by, let's go through it, usually making some kind of deal with a dark entity or finding some deep power within himself that's either granted by some kind of generational lineage and like something that he can tap into as an essence of his being, or is granted to him with some kind of a cost. Either way, forcing him into relating to his internal self and figuring out how to relate that to the external world, which is full of threats and friends and companions, and often turning potential threats into friends or companions as we move forward through the story, grow as a character, overcome all these obstacles, all this stuff. That ain't fucking simple, and the only reason that you think it is because the elements that make it up, these incredibly complicated abstractions, that are not obvious at all, are so deeply wired into our culture. You're so enculturated, all of us are, so inundated with those simplistic stories, building and building and building, that everything seems sort of obvious and simple. You know, you watch a show like Demon Slayer and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, a character goes into a fucking dream sequence and has this like revelation where his parents are talking to him, and that allows him to breathe better and light his sword on more fire. And you're like, yeah, totally tracks. Totally legit, right? Yeah, your mental power gets externalized into a physical representation as flame of your abilities, but it's more than that. It's your spirit, and you fight with that against the... Yeah, totally tracks. It's totally simple. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. These are representations, patterns, shadows on the wall of the reality of being that have been abstracted out and iterated upon for generations, for thousands of years. Our stories and our storytelling mechanisms go back as long as we do, because what we're doing is the most fundamentally human thing that we can do, and that's to share our experience of being. And what we figured out is that you can do that through a story much more effectively than just trying to explain the base nature of things. You can abstract everything away, and amazingly, our minds are able to relate one thing to another thing, even though they're totally separate. And from that comes the ability to look at a picture with a little smiley face on it and go, that's me. And from that ability to empathize, we can extract the whole wealth of of self-identification, self-representation, and possibilities for ways of being as represented by the beings, non-existent fictional beings, more real than real because of their abstract nature, that we find folded into our tales. So when we get our simple story of young boy, probably in some kind of situation that's not amazing because life is hard. It fucking sucks usually until you figure something else out. Comes across some kind of devil's deal that might enable him to become something more, to change, and has to sacrifice his internal self and his weakness in order to grasp at strength, and in doing so maybe catapults him into a world that he doesn't understand, full of responsibility and threats and opportunities. We're going to evaluate that story through the lens of all of the other little stories that we've always that we've heard throughout our lives. And so it's going to read to us as like, yeah, this is pretty simple, straightforward, yippee-ki-yay. And it's not. And so I don't think simple shonen, first off, I don't think it fucking makes any sense. It's ridiculous. The term explodes itself. It doesn't fucking make any sense. When people call a show like this a simple shonen, that pleases me. It means that they were able to comprehend it, or at least felt like they did. And what that means is that the great machine of Studio Mappa has done its job. And it's done its job with a piece of media that in the first place had something going for it, had someone with the ability to create that connection, that identification, that from that simplest moment of, ooh, that's me, I relate to this character, to all of the darkness and horrors and journeys that we might experience along the way. It means to me that there's something there. And it makes me giggle a little bit because people are going to dismiss it and say, well, it's so simple and straightforward. I'm immune to this kind of storytelling. This propaganda doesn't work on me. And to me, that means that it fucking works, baby. It's in you now. It's in you, and you don't even know it. That means it's working, and that means it was made right. So, now we get to finally get into it and watch the show that I've been blathering about, because I don't fucking know what we're going to get into here at all. I just wanted to lay some groundwork for how I look at shows like this, and the way that I think when people try to downplay a show's quality by calling it simple or like obvious or straightforward or something that you've seen before. None of these are insults. All of them are interesting. And so I'm pretty interested in seeing what we get into here in Jujutsu Kaisen. Now that all of you have skipped to this point in the video, we're going to watch episode 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I have downloaded the Judas version because it's got a convenient batch for season 1. If I need to go get another version, tell me as soon as possible and I'll consider it. I did look at a Comparisonio where had one frame of pants sitting by a river. I looked at the different versions. I couldn't tell any difference, so I grabbed this one and it's fine. We're going to watch episode 1. There will be 2 versions of this reaction video. There will be a picture-in-picture version with the video up there in the corner, and that'll be linked down in the description in a couple of places. Then there will be the primary version, which you're watching, which is the timer-based version. It'll have a timer for you to sync up your own copy of the episode, so you can sync it up and watch it along with me, and that'll go great. Then we'll do discussion. We'll be tearing through this episode and talking about what we talk about. I don't know what we're going to talk about, because I haven't seen the episode yet. Stick around for that. Early access on the Patreon. I think that's the whole shtick. I'm going to take a sip of tea and a couple of deep breaths, and then we'll get into Jujutsu Kaisen episode 1. Blind as can be, no expectations, no drawing, because I don't know what the fuck I would draw. I thought about it, and I don't know. I could draw an abstract thing, but I'm not going to. Let's see how this story unfolds. I've got a piece of paper out in order to take notes if I need them, and I'm prepared to dive deep and take the discussion slow once we get through it. So this first episode, I'm just going to let it wash over me, experience what we experience, and enjoy the ride. Thanks for joining me. Let's get into Jujutsu Kaisen episode 1. I fucking hate saying that, by the way. Beep beep timer. Ohio. Hello. Oh, we are in a bad place. Oh, hi. Are those all, totems or something on the walls? What the fuck? They look like hieroglyphics. Oh, we got 2 of us? Classic Mappa sound effects. You real tied down. You dangerous. Should be worrying about yourself. He's very goopy. Oh, sweet. We're gonna OP? We're gonna OP. Sounds like Dance Gavin Dance. Sounds like I know this band. I might not know this band. I don't know this band. I'm wrong. Hi, Sasuke. Hi, hot stuff. Sorry. I'm not sorry. What? What? Hi. What? Whoa! Whoa! That's a new element to the... So maybe the blindfold has to do with sight. Oh, shit. A mirror and a weird you. Okay. What the fuck? Alright, I need context. So she's manifesting those. They are not square. Why is there... Oh, man, this is just a lot. This is just a lot. There's a lot going on here. It looks awesome. And to friendship we go. And then on the other side of things, shit's whack. So that's you? That is you, isn't it? Oh, look, another you. Huh. Well, like a second self that you have to... Okay. Ryomen Sukuna. I have no idea what that means. Okay, we're back in time? In the hospital, which we saw in the OP. Aww. Tsundere Grandpa. Check. Light looks great. It's Mappa. What club are you in, bro? The demon murdering club? Cause you gonna be. Okay. Oh, hi Sasuke. Hi Sasuke. They are? So are we in like a semi-Shinto sort of a thingy? These characters are way goofier than I expect them to be. What the fuck? Okay. Alright, so we're getting vignettes of different characters, building up to a collision that's going to cause everything to explode and go wild. Oh, this is his club. Oh, fucking hell. He's a dork. Y'all suck. Oh. Aw. Aw. I'm in love. Way to say that a lot. Oh, because of the cursed object. So they're actually gonna run into... Hmm. Obviously related. Same place. Obviously it's related. So... So we're a bunch of idiots. Whoa. Lyme disease? Oh. Guy can't keep his hand off his face. Well, that's gonna be a theme, isn't it? Ah, shit. Itadori! God damn it. Oh, he just appears here. This is wild. This is absolutely not what I expected. I feel like I'm back 20 years. I'm into it. Oh. Itadori's an idiot. He just immediately bought into it as soon as a challenge was thrown down. Alright, that teaches us something about the character. Still hasn't been able to go home, right? Oh, hi! Okay. So he can't see it. He can't actually see it. Oh, okay. Or maybe he can see the monster and just needs to find the cursed object? So what allows them to start, like, interacting with us? Are they generally kind of harmless, except for causing mild problems? I don't fucking know. What you got, bro? I feel like those are not true. I feel like those are lies. Oh, I mean, okay. What's your special power? Is his special power just being really strong? What the fuck? Okay, cool. Huh. He threw a shot put overhand. I can feel my shoulder dislocate. Hmm. And has no fear. Fair enough. Oh, for his grandfather. Okay. Huh? Same type as Zenin said. What? There's so much! Nani? He's got it? What's going on with this boy? What's going on with this boy? He's mega strong and super fast? Who put super soldier serum in his Wheaties? Fuck you, kid. No flowers for you. Just throwing it on the floor. Oh, and he's gone. Nope, he's here. Okay. Are they superpowered? What the fuck? This is goofy. Yeah! Burning rubber. I want to know what your last words were gonna be, OG-san. You were gonna tell us something super critical, weren't you? That's the fucking basement in... this is the fucking basement in, the Titans. Okay. We're just gonna lay it out here. Can't joke that one off. Right there? Holy shit, Ji-chan! He didn't even tell us the thing about our parents! We're never gonna know! Oh, macaroni! Ooh, instant last words. Okay. Yeah, that'll put you into that sort of dark spot that we were talking about. Wow. Pretty unfazed by it. Uh, shock. 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 Dissociate. Oh, roast him up. Oh, hello. So that's the deal with the uniforms, huh? Now. Yeah, my grandpa just died. Oh, shit. What does he possess? He doesn't know. Oh, we're getting into it. Yeah, it tracks. Lots of pain. Oh, we're in a hospital. How convenient. Oh. Okay. Okay, so it's a bad idea. So curses have been... They do look like hieroglyphs. Ah. Ah. Or is there something more to him? We gotta go. Uh. All right. Click into mission. How simple. And we set up that we like these characters too, so yeah, that tracks. And it becomes a saving people thing with the last words of the grandfather in the immediate memory. Oh baby. Here we go. Man, she's gonna turn into a demon monster or some shit. We're gonna have to kill the cutie. I hate it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Quick, wrap it back. Oh. So she is special. Oh, normally? Oh, it wants out. I like this track. I want to see where it goes. Ready for them to... Oh, oh shit. Why can't he... Gotta save the people. Cool. Well, that's not gonna happen. We gotta get that finger into that boy's butt or something. I don't know how it's gonna go down. Nope. That's just a little one. Shut the fuck up. Oh, nope, 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 nope. 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 Great looking. And we're in it. Mappa. Wouldn't be anybody else. Oh, shit. Truly. Ow. No. You're a protagonist, kiddo. And so are you. Dude, you're gonna get Shinji. Click. And the line comes back. Perfect. Oh, that looks great. That looks awesome. Oh! Rip! A true tsundere grandpa. Maybe try to make it. Oh, hi. Did he leap 2 stories? What are you, bro? This death is wrong. That's a good line. Mm-mm. Yummy! Good boys. Pa 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 pa. Oh! On the verge of death or in special places. Yeah, they can. This death is not right. That's cool. Okay, that's a great way to... Oh, shit. Oh. uh, Just a nibble. Come on, just a nibble. Ooh! Freaking fire sound. Oh, he is just a human, and they are just goop. That's bad. So there's a concentration. This is rad. That looks awesome. Super Mappa-y. Nobody else. I refuse. Ow. Yeah, he's fine. Oh. Ow. I don't know if that counts. Oh. Oh. Do it. Let's go. Baka. So at the edge of death, it would make you powerful. We accept the danger and make it deal with something we don't understand. Yep. Yummy. I was joking. I had no idea. Awesome. A 1 in a million chance that he'll be the baddest ass that's ever been. Let's go. Oh, fuck. He's also totally out of control. Sides, huh? Hey, buddy. Feeling good? Looking all extra-eyed there. Ah, I return? Finally? Are you Roman Sakuraba? Oh. Oh, that's the worst possibility. Haha, a man of culture. Let's go. Oh no. Huh? Oh! He's still in there. And we're full talking. Yeah, what the fuck? No, but how are you able to... My guy. It's a 1 in a million in a 1 in a million. No, I got this. Execution. Eh? Please don't. Oh, yeah. Oh, and he's gonna arrive. We're gonna fight, and shit's gonna get crazy. We're gonna find out a bunch of information. There's a dog? I don't know. Rad. Wow, that was a wild fucking ride for our first episode, and I think a blast. We just got right up to exactly where I wanted us to go. Alright. Some of you are probably gonna be like, oh, you know what? This show's so obvious and simple that Teeaboo was able to predict some parts of it before even knowing anything about the show. He was said some basic shit and it actually came true. Guess what? Follows some pieces of formula, and does them really well. Maybe that's my favorite part about something like this, is just being able to point out and be like, oh, are they gonna do? Oh, they did it well. Hey, okay. And next, we're gonna. They nailed that too. That's what this episode feels like. This feels like a bunch of nailed beats. It does feel like it's out of time in a pretty interesting way. When was the manga first written for Jujutsu Kaisen? Because it feels like it's out of time in a sense. The opening sequence and the way that we build up the school and the characters and some of the way that the comedy works in particular. We get this sort of slightly goofy gag comedy that it reminds me of Naruto almost. It reminds me of that same kind of mildly goofy gooberiness, which I didn't expect. And it threw me off a little bit and made the opening of the tension build and the up to curses and shit's going wild pretty cool. Kind of hit me out of left field despite expecting it. I wasn't expecting it, you know? What else? Let's see. So, I think it's pretty easy to look at this and go, oh, it's Chainsaw Man. I see this before. Because, yeah, framework-wise, we're in a similar space, right? We've got a character pushed to the brink of death who has, at this point, just met a pretty dope person who's like a lower down in a organization that is fighting bad things that he didn't know about otherwise. And decides to, instead of dying and losing everything for his own reasons, integrate and incorporate something monstrous into himself, and that threatens to take over him, but instead of being taken over by it, he becomes sort of in unison and one with it, or is going to, once we figure out that he doesn't need to be killed right now, because he can probably actually control this, which is unique and interesting, and, well, as a basic premise, I will throw to you that this is fucking complicated. This is a really deep, abstraction. What is the thing that makes a hero a hero? It's different in every story. Just recently in ZZ Gundam, somebody said a line about a character that was just like, oh, that's his heroic archetype. It was, he's the kind of person who takes all of other people's burdens upon himself. That's a kind of a hero. What kind of hero do we have here? What is it about Itadori that's going to make him a hero? I've already got it. It's super obvious. Do you know what it is? It's not necessarily his mindset or his mentality or the thing that he got from his grandpa. It's not what he wants. It's something innate about him. And so it ties into that potentially generational lineage because you've got the mystery of the parents and stuff. What is it? Okay. Anyone could eat the finger, and most of them would die because it's too poisonous. But 1 in a million would reincarnate and become a monster. Okay? So most people exposed to truth, let's call it, a nugget of the reality of the horror of existence, just fall apart. Or dissociate from it, leave it behind, gone. Some people become mass murderers, or otherwise horrible monsters. Okay? One person, our hero, chosen by our narrative, if not by something in-world, certainly by our storyteller, our hero is the one who can suppress that murderous instinct. So what is it, what trait or aspect of the human soul are we holding up on high and putting up above all others here? To me, it's self-control. The conscious ability to engage with the chaos within you, having swallowed the seed of truth, horrible truth that is, and then the ability to retain your humanity despite being exposed to the inhuman. That is what we're holding up on high. That's a good one, baby. That's a good one, because it ties directly and deeply into Jungian representations of the shadow self and your internal darkness that you externalize as somebody else. So, what do we get as we move forward into the story? Some degree of balance to be worked out. Because both of these sides, the rapacious, murderous, destructive, and powerful, capable, useful side, and the human, resilient, he is resilient, we see that, strong in and of himself, but not enough to fight curses and shit. And empathetic, desiring to help and save others. On a very Spider-Man, great responsibility, Uncle Ben sort of style of mission. It's like straight up, right? All you need is for Uncle Ben to be killed by a demon or a curse or whatever instead. We don't have to do that here because we line everything up a bit differently. Those two sides of Itadori have something that the other one wants. The human side of him needs the power, right? In order to do his goals. His goals are to protect. Those goals are diametrically opposed to the evil side or whatever's goals. The evil side wants to destroy shit. Fucking chaos, murder, whatever. Blood. Blood for the blood me. All over. But if Itadori remains in some degree of control of his body, then the dark side has, he's got something that it needs. And so you negotiate with it. And so you come to balance. I think of Hi Ren by Ren, a YouTube video song that was released by Ren months ago, where he has a battle with his subconscious and eventually comes into something like balance as he determines that this really beautifully abstracted devil inside of him, the voice that tells him he's not good enough, that he is not the snake in Eden, the reason for treason, and his human self, which he ideates as a semi-religious, like I think he uses the phrase like I was made in his image or something like that, and so he identifies this, like, you can think of an angel devil on the shoulder, but that's not right because they're actually you. It's you, and it's a half of you and a half of you. So this representation of two halves of a person stuck in one body with diametrically opposed goals, but the requirement to work together is a pretty solid, simple abstract representation of you, human, spirit of creation and destruction, from minds identical to yours, brains just like yours, have come all the wonders of our world and all the horrors. And within each of us, all of those possibilities live. So, if you want a framework for how to exist, maybe a story that tells something similar might be useful. We might be able to move forward with that metaphor as our foundation and incorporate other elements like friendships, relationships, power struggles, sex, existence, goals, purpose. You know, the life stuff, the stuff that you actually have to really, truly deal with on a moment-by-moment basis. Like any time where you're not locked in to whatever you're doing, where you're not distracting yourself with noise from the reality of your being, where you're not, laboring for somebody else or laboring towards something inane or flooding yourself with media and information. If you just stop and breathe and think about existence, you're going to come right up against the walls that we're addressing here in a simple, dumb shonen. And a show like this can be an incredibly, incredibly valuable roadmap for framing yourself and understanding how to exist, or ways that you might be able to exist. For me, the show that did this to me, that unlocked this mindset toward media, was Devilman Crybaby. And Devilman Crybaby, let's just hop into it. In a moment of chaos, an empathetic human young man is seeded with the seed of devil, of the real core evil truth of the world. It tries to take over his body and be reincarnated as Amon, grand, like, second-in-command devil of all devils, right? And yet he finds the way because of his empathetic human crybaby side, he finds the way to find some kind of balance with it and utilize those powers and destructive energy and chaos. And his devil side really likes ripping shit apart and bathing in the blood and fucking and loves that stuff. But he's crying the whole time because there's this balance to it. And it's more complicated. It's a fucking complicated representation. That shit religious. But that was the one that did it for me. And has been continuously a wellspring and a wealth of strength, I would say. As I can lean back on these stories when I'm struggling, and I can see my struggles through the dark glass, abstracted watercolor representations that are delivered to me from some of the greatest creative minds on our planet right now. And I just saw one the last 20-something minutes. This is a good abstraction, y'all. This is cool. This is cool. I like it. I like it, and I am here for it. Let's ride on through the episode, and we'll just talk about anything that pops up when it pops up. There are a couple of animation bits that I want to go through, and there are a number of story bits that I will have, that I just want to address or mention. So we start off a quality in media res stinger, bring up "you're gonna get executed," and the mannerisms and speech and body language of this character are just so over the top confident and kind of evil-y. It's like a male Makima. He's like a male Makima. Totally got everything under control. Can't see his eyes, which makes it really how do I put it? It creates a power differential. When you can't see somebody else's eyes, you can't read them. It's part of the reason that drill sergeants often wear sunglasses. They can scare the shit out of you. Oh, I'm in a weird place. Talismans fucking everywhere. They look like Egyptian hieroglyphics, which is cool as a design element. I don't know if that's going to come into place, but it sort of makes sense. I mean, when it comes to cursed objects and shit, ain't nobody doing it better than the Egyptians. That might not be true. Which one are you? Immediately tells us that there's some split thing going on here, which is lovely as a little tease. And then hop into a name that doesn't mean anything. Gojo Satoru. And I'm in charge of the first years. And Fushiguro Senpai realizes he's in the chains, all tied up, super talismaned out. And it's fun. It's fun to me. The sound effects are fun to me. There's this one, and then there's the fire starting one. It's always used for when fires start. If you go to what's the firefighters anime with the crosses and church and blue stuff and fire boy with fire feet, fire foot. I don't fucking know. Fire Force. That is actually what it's called. It's called Fire Force. The flame on sound effect, which we'll see a bit later, gets used all over the place. It drives me wild. I actually, it almost annoys me, but it's kind of just like hearing the Wilhelm scream. It's fun. What the hell is going on here, boy? Don't worry about it. You're about to get totally executed. And I love the way he dangles his little arms. Big yaoi hand arms, I should say. He's full Rikering the chair. Guy gives no fucks. We choose purple as our accent color for all of the black uniforms, which I think is a cool choice. It makes them all look pretty badass. Kind of JoJo-y. Yeah, kind of JoJo-y. Also the high collar and the full black. Yeah. I like it. And this is a great stinger intro for everything. I can't with the OP. It's such a hodgepodge. There's so much in it. And so many of the things are obviously story beats that we're going to address that I don't know what to think about the OP. Little fishy that swallows you up. I don't know what's up with that. Some really gorgeous imagery. Mappa's ability to use 3D backgrounds, whether they're CG 3D, full 3D, or just mapped properly to create the illusion of motion, it's pretty second to none. UFO is up there, especially on certain action sequences and stuff. Ufotable can do it too, but Mappa just keeps killing it, and they've been chugging on this front for a while, and they really focused on integrating a CG department really effectively, and it's paying dividends as they keep getting these high budget, big production, relatively big name shows and killing them on the production front, and then doing it again and again and again. And you can see their stylistic tendencies in the way that the monsters look, the way that they're animated, the way that they move, the even just the color of them, the way that they're colored accents them differently from the backgrounds and everything else, and helps when we transition them, if we do, which we will sometimes do, from 2D to CG, which I'm sure is going to happen at some point. The distinctive color scheming on them and the distinctive line art of the monsters, as differentiated from the backgrounds and as differentiated from the human characters, makes them really unique looking, and it works really well. They've figured out the formula, man, and there's nothing wrong with it because it just keeps producing cool looking anime, and I love it. I'm in, man. She seems pretty cool. He seems pretty cool. I don't know what the fuck is up with the pandas. One of them was running around on 2 feet. Okay, here's my idea. This is a panda who got cursified and actually wishes that he could be a panda so that he could save his species and fuck all the hot panda bitches, but now he's on the other side of the zoo because he's actually a humanoid now and he can't go fuck the hot pandas. Did I nail it? I think I nailed it. I bet I nailed it. I don't know what the hell you're doing. This is the coolest shit. Curse viewing glasses. I think everybody's imagined having glasses that show something that isn't there, or maybe makes certain things that are there not visible. It's such a cool image. Whoa! And there's Froggo Boy is just there, the creature from the Black Lagoon. Hello. Some dope rotational shots, some dope cityscapes in general, and some cool shifts into this sort of flat tone, no outlines. Edge lighting isn't actually an extra lighting. It's just we wash the rim, we wash the edge or the line art into the color of the highlight. It's pretty interesting. It looks really cool. I don't know if we're going to mimic it often in actual scenes, but it works really well to go from this pastel-y wonderland into, hi buddy, I've been waiting. And in the darkness, Mr. Fishy becomes, I don't know, something wrong with Mr. Fishy, and suddenly mouths and then fighting. Just lots of fighting. Insane fighting, lots of... He's got a Dalmatian sword? What am I looking at? And pure chaos that I'm not going to be able to understand. All of this will make sense in 20 episodes. This sequence has that same sort of coloring style where there's a lack of line art. Whoa, okay, so we wash from normal people into the actual monsters and the curses that live within and underneath. That's rad. This looks cool. I don't know what it reminds me of. It reminds me of something. And then shit gets bonko wonko. Nails. Okay, they're nails. Alright, they're nails. That makes sense for curse stuff. Chinese. Oh, it's not a naginata. It's a guyao? Guandao. That one. I think it's a guandao. It could be a naginata too. It doesn't have the little hook thing that the guandao usually has. But the tassel and I don't know. It doesn't I had such an absurd argument with somebody about like glaives and naginatas and stuff. I don't know. Panda is a boy. So many characters that we flash through. So many cool opportunities to, I don't know, have different characters with different power sets that represent different mental states and abilities and all sorts of things. And all of them, probably most of them, have a Shikigami, something that they've made a contract or a link with that enables them to do cool stuff. I don't know. Who dat? Who dat? Who we flirting with? Who we flirting with on this beach? I don't know. I want to know. God, the monster designs are nuts. Some cuteness, some coolness, the potential of revealing his eyes. We see a little bit of an eyelash, and then we cut away. So probably, if he reveals the eyes, shit's about to get real. And then some insane warpy shit as we face off against exploding insanity. Very reminiscent to me of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which tracks, you know. And Grandpa dies. Instantly. He's only in the story to die. Yeah. What are you gonna do? You gotta have a backstory for your rogue character. The parents can't be in it. The grandparents can't be in it either. No family, no support mechanisms. And we named the episode after the finger, the fingy, which is great. All right. First frame of our character. Establishing shot, establishing shot, establishing shot, right? We do 3. Yep, Itadori residence, phone. Pretty dilapidated, newspapers everywhere. Nice and bright, though. We get this cool shot of our character, and we hold it for a while. And this is our introduction to the boy, calling up to check on his beloved grandfather, right? Who he goes, I don't love you, grandfather. And Grandpa's like, fuck you, kid. Stay the hell away from me. I don't love you or nothing. And we go, aw, you're so cute. Because it's really cute. They obviously do care about each other. How is he doing? But he's checking on him over and over because he knows that he's right on the edge. And so we get this idea that he's probably relatively well prepared for it. He's also well known amongst the nurses, likely, because he comes in pretty frequently to visit his grandfather, despite Itadori never using his call button. I tell him not to come. And we get our intro to comedy, the sort of goofy slapstick that's an element of the episode, and feels really good. I really like this shit. I know a lot of people complain about it. They're like, my show's only allowed to have one tone, and it's edge. It's edge. But, you know, you need a handle to hold on to the edgy blade. You know what I mean? Like, you need something wholesome and nice to hold on to so that you can relate to the characters and stuff. Because when you just have edge, you can't hold that thing because it cuts you every time. And you're like, man, I really want to like this character because he's so cool, but he fucking sucks and he hates everybody. He's just like, I'm a lone wolf. I work on my own. Yeah. It's like, I got nothing to sink my teeth into or like hook in or get that identification. But we end up with a character with slapstick scenes that he's a part of and a bit of a goofy side and this energy of like, I'll rise to any challenge. And then this love for his grandfather. And you look at that and you go, oh, that's a me. I also have people that I care about. And I'm also kind of goofy and dumb sometimes. It's like, oh, a human. It humanizes our cast. It humanizes the show. And with those tones in the atmosphere, it lets us go further. If we just start dark and dreary, right, and then we drop into insanity and hell and demons and fucking curses and shit, if we want to bring it back up and create some variance, all we can get back up to is status quo dreary. But if status quo is like, haha, goofy fun times, the joy of youth, right, and then the low points are like darkness and hell and you're gonna get executed, then we can oscillate all the way between that, and it's like, whoa, it's a huge roller coaster and it's a lot more fun. So people complain about slapstick comedy in fighting anime or whatever. I don't give a shit. I love it. Go to your club. But of course, he's not really going to his club because he switched clubs to be in the occult research club so that he doesn't have to go to club mostly and doesn't have to do any work because he's lazy, but also so that he can get off at 5 and go see his grandpa. That's a lot layered in here in one conversation. Doesn't all get revealed until later, and then we flip-flop between A plot, B plot until they collide as, I forgot his name, Fushiguro, goes looking for a cursed object and discovers that it is fully missing because they didn't even lock it even a little bit, and some fucking idiots from the occult society decided that it would be fun to play with. I think this adds to the slapstick, right? Here's our Sasuke serious character. I know he's not actually like that now. I get it. But he's like, where'd it go? And it's goofy. It humanizes him, right? He's not just Mr. Blindfold going around being like, I'm all serious and super serious and stuff. He folds and there's pressure and he's a human. I like it. Makes me relate to him a little bit. This shit's dumb. We all know it. And a fun way of revealing that they're taking themselves all oh so seriously, but really they're just playing around and goofing off. And then a classic trope of student council president barges in to let you know that your club is to be disbanded because you suck and we need this room for stuff, and cannot stop forcing his glasses up upon his face. It's all he's good for. It's great. It's great. Don't underestimate our members. I think she's so cute. What a cutie. What a patootie. There are a lot already. Like, from scene 1, the nurses are hot. And then we got alright. I'm just gonna leave that be. We did have a tilt towards Savisu in a creepy, disgusting way. Which is weird and voyeuristic. And an interesting start. It's pretty classic to put a female character in danger and have them being assaulted to some degree, and certainly the many gropey hands of the Edie monster that was going to vor her were getting a little bit gropey. And that allows us to sprinkle in some fan service without being the cause of it, right? Like, well, it's not our fault that we're looking at the titties being grabbed because the monster did it. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out as we move forward. I don't feel any sort of way about it at present. It just is a thing that happened and will continue to happen, I'm sure. Mysterious sounds and voices. And they've done a whole bunch of research and actually, honestly, figured out a whole bunch of stuff, which is wrong. It has nothing to do with Yoshida-san. He's just another victim of the curse, probably. It has to do with the finger of Yoshigoro, whatever. And they really have a lot of fun with this stuff. And I think it's a blast. I hope that there's a whole bunch more of it. That sort of added spice of production and enjoyment in low-key moments really helps make it a whole experience of fun. He's the one who fucked up, and track coach just appears in room, which is a cool gag, right? It plays with our space. We've seen the whole space. Now we cut in here, and suddenly he's there. That's fun. It's fun. As soon as he challenges him to something, we're in. You're on. Another checkbox for heroic protagonist who will take on any challenge, right? Yeah. But more than that, it's a way to reveal what our guy is actually all about. Oh boyo, we wander around the place and there's a fucking curse here, that's for sure. It's swimming through the ground, and it's unclear to me whether he can see it or what. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Your boy's really strong. No explanation yet. Gonna guess it has to do with his family. No idea. He's also mega fast. No idea what's up with that either. I like this accent as well. So everything's been pretty simplistic and flat over the course of this whole sequence, right? Characters with single color, maybe 2 tones for shading under the necks and stuff. Flat hair, flat faces, flat camera work as well. Everything's pretty flat. Pretty basic. Could be a show from 25 years ago, a high school show, and you wouldn't know. Emphasis. Everything goes high quality. The CG camera is in effect. We're smooth moving. And then we double take, triple take. A curse. Something weird. And so our characters are on a collision course. Rush off to fucking hell. He does pull the flowers away from the baby, right? It's the baby. I feel that. Tsundere Grandpa is the tsundereest tsundere. Listen to me. I've got one last thing to tell you, and I thought he wasn't going to get it out. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't tell us about the parents, because Itadori kind of tells him off, but then he gives us the lines that matter. And we get other lines here. Stop trying to be all cool. Quit snapping over everything. You can just be yourself. He just wants to be with his grandfather, right? And already is having trouble processing this. Freaking kids these days. And then, laying there, says his piece. Yuji, you're strong, so help others. Thesis 1. Strength is to be used for helping people, okay? Maybe you can't protect everyone, but you can choose the people closest to you and try. Try to save them if you can. Okay, number 2. Triage. Battlefield triage. You can't save everybody, but it's worth it if you can protect the ones closest to you. Okay? It's okay if you lose your way. It's a long journey, and it's a winding road. And don't worry about gratitude so much, because it doesn't matter that much in the end anyway. Save others, not because you'll get something out of it, but because saving them is what you get out of it. Even if it's only one. So that you die surrounded by people. Don't end up like me. And that's his last line, is don't end up like me. Is truly his last words. I think that the cutaway to the nurse station lets us sink in slowly a little bit, which is pretty solid. And then the cut into a pretty sunset seals it together. And it ends up feeling really fitting and somber. And then it's very matter of fact. It's very step by step as he goes through doing these things. He's not super emotional. He's not in full shock. He's sort of dissociated, is how I see it at present. Okay, here's everything. Yep, that's good. This is great. And the voice actor has some emotion in his voice. He's not perfectly calm. He's tentative and uncertain. But at the same time, part of that uncertainty feels like it's not being certain how you're supposed to feel, or whether the way that you currently feel is how you're supposed to feel. You know? That idea of, am I grieving properly? Shouldn't I be weeping or like bowled over by this or something? Happens a lot. Judging yourself for your self-aware, like, the way that you've reacted to some circumstance. Doesn't feel real yet. I'll just have to laugh as I roast him up. And, hi, I'm here to interrupt. You're coming with me. So we explain curses and shit to him. He doesn't buy it, really, but doesn't really care, more importantly. It's mostly for us, but it still works really well as exposition to a character who doesn't understand any of these things for a reasonable reason, which makes a ton of sense and I think is really cool, and explains all the background for what curses are, which we really need. Protective talismans, but that's a bad idea, which means they're all over the place, and this is probably a continuous, like an infrastructural problem that we have to keep solving all over the place, because these cursed objects are everywhere, I'm sure. And whoopsies, I gave it to my homies. How are they doing? They're doing great. Now they're not doing so great. We got a fingy. I didn't think we were actually going to eat it. I didn't realize that we were going to actually eat the finger, but damn, we ate the finger. And now we're smashing back and forth between these scenes, right? As the tension ramps up on one side and the tension ramps up on the other side as we're rushing to them. The music kicks in. Boom, 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 right? And then it kicks up further with those... You know, guitars start chugging, and we're building to it, right? This is a cool build of tension moving forward. I guess it's just the wash of cursed energy. He's not actually repelled from it. It's not because he's special. And at this point, we start getting into, like, action animation mode. We start getting a little bit wobbly with characters' proportions and arms and legs and the way that they move in order to be more expressive than not, and or more expressive than realistic. And the flowy sort of bagginess of the uniforms allows for a lot of that. In the same way that in JoJo's, a lot of Araki's ability to create pose and texture in the movements of his characters, or the poses of his characters, has to do with the way that he draws clothing. The clothes here lend themselves to that same sort of thing. And the animation comes off as really smooth, in part because we can make it flow like that. There's also... all throughout, everywhere, there's a sense of dynamism. Having characters not just move across the screen, which is boring, or up the screen, right, which is boring, not just having them move diagonally, which is pretty cool, diagonal's all right, but having them move toward us and away from us, which is neat and difficult, and then doing that at a diagonal, right? So when Boyo hops this fence, do we frame the fence in front of us with the Boyo and he hops the fence toward us? No. Do we frame the fence from down and he moves downward across the screen? No. We frame it as diagonally as possible, and he's moving away diagonal to close diagonal, right? He's moving through the screen with as much dynamism as is possible, and that's going to hold throughout a whole bunch of the shots of movement and action throughout this. Stay here! Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I can't just stand by. They're my friends. And the voice echoes behind, of course. And of course it does. Oh, geez. Everything bad. Monsters bad. Face huggers bad. Shit bad. This bad. It's real bad. I don't like the way the monsters look. Actually, let me take that back, put it the other way. I love the way the monsters look. See what I mean? The texture's all fucking different and wild. That's going to lend itself really, really effectively to moving these monsters in and out of CG. They've figured out that this sort of mosaic pixelated camouflage thing allows them to texture monsters with a sort of mosaic pixelated camouflage thing, and they look almost the same, so you can transition between 2D and 3D relatively effectively. Hey, you want a diagonal? How about we go as diagonally possible, and then we diagonal again? Right? Right. Like, bam, wham, boom, 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 boom. Guys playing 5D pinball through this frame. And it looks great. It looks great. We've got these whippy flowies and smears on the hands, giving us lots of momentum. The face moves. Everything moves. It's pretty cool. And snap to another diagonal with all sorts of flow to it. And again, like every single time, here we've got big 3D camera, but we're still just moving across diagonals all the way through. And suddenly, powers. Gotta reveal powers in a cool way. So we skid to a full Jean-Claude Van Damme halt, do some fucking jutsus, maybe that's what the name means, and splam, boom, demon dogs. Yep. Yep. These look fucking cool. What can I say? That's freaking cool. They're good boys. Very good boys. Am I just gonna wait here? No. So he hops up to the fence, feels the sense of death, feels his own fear of death, and then, was I afraid of it then? Didn't feel like I was, though. But somehow now his mortality is sunk in. I didn't cry because I was scared. But my grandpa's death and the death that I'm facing now, how are they any different? They're one and the same. So, we come to maybe my favorite idea. Full stop, as far as frameworks and abstractions go. You're alive. That shit temporary. You're not gonna last. Nobody gets out of here. You're gonna end. You have a choice of how. You're gonna end having tried, or having regrets. Because you can live your whole life just waiting to die. Millions of people do it. You won't be alone if you take that path. Just let it come. Let each day flow by you. Avoid rocking the boat. Avoid the risks. After all, they could kill you, right? Or endanger your pension. Jeez, terrifying. And one day, you'll wake up old. And you'll look at the young people around you. And you'll wish that you could grab them by the shoulders and shake them and go, live! Live before you've lost it, before it's too late. Find something important and try. Don't end up like me. So when you do the calculus of some risk, and you think of it as like, yeah, I mean, I could go out on a limb and like try that thing that I'm kind of drawn to, and man, I don't know how I would do it, but fuck, if only I could do it, I'd probably give up everything to do it, but if I did it, I'd have to give up everything to do it, and so it's probably not worth it. Maybe I'll just I'll just stay the way things are. When you do that calculus, don't calculate it against your current status quo. Calculate it against your slow, miserable, painful death, because that's what you're in for. If you don't take the risks, if you don't look at the world and try to bite off more than you can chew and find out what you're really made of, you're in for slow, miserable, painful decay. The universal. So, live. Fucking try. And that's the conclusion that your boy comes to, I think. This death that I'm fearing, murdered by some curse or some dark energy, versus 75 full of regrets. Nothing accomplished. I'm running in. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Here's a fun break from our diagonal theme. Straight down the middle. Arms whipping and waving. This is cool looking. I really like this. Super floopy. I think that's going to be a theme. Ugh. And then we gotta... Ugh. It's got such a sense of momentum and like skid and traction to it. That is rad. I can hear the tires squeal. I like it. And smash back. Right. Wait, no, we smash back here, don't we? Roar. And then we've already got the homies. Yep, pretty gropey. Pretty gross. Your friends are in danger. Don't be like me. Don't end up like me. That's true. And so, at the last moment, homeboy hops in, super mega powered, scares the shit out of this curse, kicks through the window, does like 4 backflips, and punches it into a puddle while giving us his line. I think you had a proper death, Grandpa. But this death is wrong. This death is wrong. That is the line. So, we are the preventer of wrong deaths. That's a pretty good place to be. Thwap, boom, pow. Done and done. Little bits of explanation. Explain the finger. And then get dangerous. Big boy! Bad times. And it pushes us right to the edge. Good God, oh my gosh. And there's one a little bit later where it goes like slam, slam into the ground. Bam, bam. And there's a crucial piece of information. If you're not cursed, you can't do this. Oh, here's the bam, bam. Boom. Boom. Yeah. Can't go home because I would have nightmares, etc., etc. And then straddling, holding himself at the threshold, he decides, fuck it. This'll be easy. Just need some cursed energy. And with the longest tongue, chomps it down. Yum yum. And he is awakened as a full demon lord, ready to cause havoc. But not quite, because he still remains inside, and the halves speak to each other. Fascinating! Great start! I think this is a great start. I think this is a great foundation. I think this is a great abstraction. I think you can do anything with this framework. And I'm really excited to get a whole bunch more exposition in the next episode as we get more knowledgeable characters folding in and figure out how the hell we're going to fit into society now that we're at least half monster bad. which makes us super badass and super duper dope. We've got a good boy with a bad man inside him. That sounded wrong. We got a good boy with a bad side. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching me watch and discuss and rack my brain about Jujutsu Kaisen Episode 1. I think this is a very promising start to a simple shonen anime. And does everything that I would want a simple shonen anime to do in a way that reaffirms to me that when people call shit a simple shonen anime as though it's a bad thing, they don't know what the fuck they're on about. Because this is great. And this does a lot. And I think it's important to tell stories like this. And I'm going to have a blast going through it and incorporating it and experiencing what it has to offer. So thanks for joining me for this episode. I will see you next week for the next one, or you can get it a week early on the Patreon. Check it out in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you next week for the next episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. Much love. Peace.